Trump, you are on my last nerve, and I have been a fan from the beginning. I was all for MAGA, whatever the fuck. Make America great again, right? Can't make America great if you ain't got nurses, right? Because apparently they're not professionals now, right? Apparently they have not made the Trump administration list for professional jobs. They left nurses off. I don't know if that was a mistake, but I know they got a proofreader somewhere doing their job. So, what do you mean nurses are not professionals? People that are saving lives. Are you kidding me right now? Nurses are literally the branches of doctors. And you're not just talking about like nurses. We're talking like, it's talking like nurse practitioners, physician's assistants, and up. Medical doctors. Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Now I want to see this list of professionals. But at the end of the day, someone who understands the anatomy of the body and how it works and the homeostasis of the body and how all of it works together. Trump, you better hope something don't happen to you. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? If you drop dead right now, nobody might not give you CPR if you go into cardiac arrest. They just might not. I'm just saying. Like, what in the world? What in the world? I hope that was a typo. I hope that was a typo. What a wild time, too, to decide this, being that there is a shortage of nurses right now. You know why there's a shortage of nurses? Because we are overworked, understaffed, too many patients, and not appreciated. They want to talk about, it's not even a shortage of the nurses, really. I mean, it is and it's not. It's about the scheduling. They are pinching pennies to keep them nurses in there. They're pinching pennies to have so many nurses to so many patient ratio, nurse to patient ratio. Lord have mercy.
Well, well, well. Every day we peel back a brand new layer of what Trump really meant when he said, "I love the poorly educated." And apparently, the goal now is to manufacture the poorly educated directly from the Department of Education. Because why wait for ignorance to happen naturally when you can streamline it? Welcome back to Think Out Loud, the only channel where I am forced, against my will, to process the nation's decisions before I've even finished my coffee. If you're new here, welcome to the ride. If you're a returning subscriber, you already know I appreciate you more than the FDA appreciates labeling something food when it definitely should not be food. Now listen, I woke up, grabbed my emotional support coffee, opened the news, and instantly felt my soul leave my body like it was late for an appointment. Why? Because Trump's Department of Education just released a brand spanking new list of degrees that are no longer considered professional programs. And guess what made the list? Nursing. Nursing. Not astrology, not interpretive dance theory, nursing. The Department of Education basically said, hey, all you people saving lives, managing crises, and keeping hospitals from becoming oversized morgues, yeah, your degree, cute. Anyway, we've decided it's not professional anymore. Take care. And here's the plot twist of the century. Theology, yes, theology, is considered a professional degree. You can get the full loan package to study ancient scrolls, debate the meaning of amen, and write papers titled Paul's Thoughts on Sandwiches, a deep dive. But nursing? Nursing gets treated like a Pinterest craft night. Apparently, saving souls pays better than saving actual bodies now. Make it make sense. Now, I want to be clear. Nurses are heroes. Nurses deserve better pay, better conditions, and better treatment from the entire system. But I also can't ignore the fact that a very loud subsection of nurses spent the last 8 years telling us Trump respects the working class. He has our back. He's the only one fighting for us frontline workers. Meanwhile, the Department of Education under that same administration just walked in like, frontline workers? Never heard of them. And what does losing professional status mean? Oh, buckle up. Your federal loan options shrink like Trump's inauguration crowd size. Your borrowing limit drops, your tuition coverage drops, your repayment flexibility drops. Basically, you drop right into the FAFO zone. This is not just FAFO energy. This is FAFO with Dolby Atmos. This is FAFO with surround sound, 4K HDR, and director's commentary. You voted for a man who said he loves the poorly educated, and now the Department of Education is trying to help you meet the criteria. And before anyone gets upset, calm down. I'm not laughing at your struggles. I'm laughing at the plot twist. There's a difference, a very caffeinated difference. So go ahead, top off that mug, I know I'm about to, and let's break down this avalanche of consequences together. Let's roll those clips, shall we?
Hello and good morning. Listen, in today's episode of The White Hood Turns, I know y'all have heard that the Department of Education is declassifying certain degrees and taking away their professional status. Okay. Well, listen, I want to be petty, and I just want to know if y'all want to be petty with me. So, I have an accounting degree. An accountant is listed as one of these degrees that, won't be professional. It's just one of the degrees I have. But anyway, that's a story for another day. Listen, the reason why I want to be petty is I know two ladies who have children that are currently in school for jobs, degrees that are on this list. But that's not the good part. I know they voted for Sid. And you know I'm petty as hell. Y'all know I'm petty as hell. So, I was all too happy to kind of bring it up in conversation. Like, so what y'all think? What they gonna do? What they gonna do? Are they gonna graduate? Are they still? I just want y'all to know it did not go over well. But I love this because I'm like, hey, I'm losing my professional classification with my accounting degree. I don't really use it that much anymore. But I'm just saying, I love this. And I love it for all the people who are MAGA that have jobs in these fields. Because again, it's all well and good, right? It's all well and good until it affects them. I just wonder, did they think that the immigrants were getting those degrees? Is that why? Oh, no. Nurses, physician's assistants, physical therapists, educators, teachers, social workers. No. You know what that is? These are heavily female-led professions. So for all of these people that voted for Sid, and you got kids going to school, or do you? Do y'all have kids going to school? I don't know, but you may not anymore. So I'm not here to make fun. I'm just saying, I love this for you. I love it, and I love it for your kids too. Okay, bye.
How are all the MAGA nurses doing today? All the mean girl nurses, how are you guys doing now that your dream of becoming a nurse practitioner is being crushed? Now that woman-dominated fields are being ripped away as professional degrees. Are we learning anything? Too bad it's too late.
The Trump administration, and whenever I start off a video like that, it cannot be good, decided that nursing, teaching, social work, physical therapy, and like half the medical field are no longer considered professional degrees. Oh, you mean the people who literally keep this country from falling apart like a stale Nature Valley bar have now been demoted? Great! Just fucking great! Hi everyone, if you're new, welcome. If you're not, you know what fucking time it is, bitch. It's time for the daily scream. Great news. Theology made the cut as a professional degree. Yes, the study of God made the cut. Because that is somehow more professional than literally keeping people from dying on an operating table. And here's the kicker. Every single field they kicked off the list, female dominated. Nurses, 90% women. Teachers, mostly women. Social workers, 81 to 85% women. Gee, I wonder why these magically became not professional enough. Oh, would you look at that? This is all a part of Trump's one big beautiful bill, where student loan limits got rewritten so professional degree students can borrow $50,000 a year. But everybody else, $20,000 and a pat on the back. The Department of Education even had the audacity to be like, this is the 1965 definition of a professional degree. Nurses were never included. Okay, and every major nursing association, social work association, medical workforce coalition, educators, occupational therapy groups, literally everybody has been begging the Department of Education to update this outdated definition. Why are we using a definition older than the colored TV to decide student loans in 2026? 260,000 nursing students right now will have their loan cap slashed. Programs are warning that this will worsen the nurse shortage. Gut rural care. Literally reduce the number of new nurses graduating each year. Why does this administration hate the people that quite literally hold this country together? Because guaranteed, if every nurse, teacher, and social worker got up and left their fucking job right now, this country wouldn't make it a fucking week. The people in charge of this country are actually so unbelievably stupid, and if you support their decisions, bitch, you are fucking too.
Spencer is right on the money with this take. Trump does love them stupid. Anyway, let's talk about the beautiful, glorious, chef's kiss irony of all this. Because the Department of Education didn't just wake up and say, hey, let's demote nursing. Oh no. They went down the list like they were ordering from a menu. A FAFO combo platter, if you will. And the funniest part? A significant number of people holding these newly non-professional degrees were the same ones screaming MAGA so loud it rattled their student loan portal. These folks voted like they were ordering freedom fries at a drive-through window. They didn't read anything. They didn't research anything. They just said, Trump good, Biden bad, loud noise make brain happy. And now? Whew. Now their degrees are being treated like Etsy side hustles. Let's go down the list of downgraded fields real quick, because every one of them deserves their own roast. Nursing? The MAGA nurses who posted TikToks saying, as a healthcare professional, I support Trump? Girl. The Department of Education just filed you under miscellaneous careers. They said your degree is basically a medical arts and crafts badge. Congratulations. You played yourself with a stethoscope. Early childhood education? These are the same people who went online yelling, Trump is protecting children. Meanwhile, the administration just said, teaching children? Not a real profession. Try again. Imagine voting for someone who believes teaching toddlers is more of a hobby than crocheting hats for cats. Social work? Don't get me started. These are people whose entire career is understanding systems and how they hurt people, who somehow convinced themselves Trump was the underdog savior fighting the system. And now their degree is being treated like a spiritual calling rather than a legitimate job. Therapy? Counseling? Crisis care? Nah. Trump said touch grass and heal naturally. Public administration? The MAGA voters who studied government but still believe the government is run by 14 secret pedophiles on a moon base? Yeah. Their degree is now basically political vibes. Nutrition science? The same folks who told you seed oils were invented by the deep state. Guess what? Their degree is now one step above reading the back of cereal boxes. And the best one? Communications majors. Oh my God. These were the loudest MAGA soldiers on Facebook. They wrote paragraphs, defending Trump like they were his unpaid PR team. Now their degree is basically downgraded to professional meme making. And what kills me is the energy, the volume, the confidence with which they declared, Trump loves the working class. Oh, he does, all right. He loves them like a landlord loves a tenant who pays late, with opportunity and punishment at the same time. These people voted like the ballot was a personality quiz, and now life is quizzing them back. Anyway, before I combust from the irony, me. Let's carry on.
Why is this really, really bad news for all of us, not just nurses? Part of Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill Act actually changed loan repayment programs, setting a higher annual cap for professional degrees at $50,000 a year compared to other graduate degrees at only $20,000 a year. The concern is that not just nursing, nurse practitioner, physician assistant, physical therapy, occupational therapy, social work are all now no longer considered professional degrees. This is terrible news for a system that is already struggling, where we have major nursing shortages and where there are also physician shortages, and physician assistants and nurse practitioners are filling the gaps in a lot of places, especially rural areas. Also, take a look at the types of fields that were removed from professional designation. A lot of them are female dominated. Compared to the fields that are still considered professional degrees, including chiropractic and then also theology. Now, my husband has a PhD and a master's in theology, but just to point out that that is likely on there because of political reasons. No, this is actually all part of Project 2025, where they wanted to privatize all loans, get rid of public service loan repayment, and eventually dismantle the Department of Education, which is already happening. I've also seen comments, and this is very astute, where a lot of these fields are mandated reporters when it comes to child abuse. So nursing, teachers, social workers. I have no great call to action. I don't know if a public outcry is going to do anything or if this is a done deal. Please keep talking about it. And this is incredibly important to learn the ramifications of your vote. You may do knee-jerk vote because of X, Y, and Z, but you can cause serious consequences down the line that can basically hurt the entire healthcare system and your own interests.
And now, let's get into the funniest, most predictable plot twist of this entire clown parade. Why did theology survive? Why is that the golden child degree? Why does theology get the full federal loan buffet while nursing got shoved into the cute hobby category? Because in America, Christian nationalism walks so MAGA can sprint into stupidity at full speed. Of course theology stayed. Of course theology stayed. You think the same political movement that treats the Bible like a personality test was going to let theology go? Absolutely not. The GOP would sooner outlaw oxygen. Theology is the backbone of their whole political aesthetic. Not the actual teachings, mind you, just the vibes. They need pastors on the payroll, mega churches endorsing candidates, and someone with a degree to justify why Jesus apparently wants lower taxes for billionaires. And this nonsense right here, ties perfectly into the MAGA worldview we've been watching unfold for years. Because the same people propping up Christian nationalism are the same ones telling young people, college is useless, degrees are a scam, women don't need higher education, stay home and raise a family. Charlie Kirk built half his career traveling around the country telling college students that college is bad. Imagine selling that product to a room full of students who literally paid money to be there. And somehow, people clapped for him like he just solved world hunger. But look closely at the degrees being demoted: nursing, teaching, social work, public health, early childhood education. Tell me, what do these degrees all have in common? They are overwhelmingly women-dominated fields. MAGA always says the quiet part loud, but this time they said it through policy. You don't need college. Learning is for elites. Stay in your place. It's the same back to the kitchen rhetoric, just dressed up in federal paperwork and student loan limits. And guess who benefits from discouraging women from upward mobility? Not women. Not society. Not healthcare. Not education. Nope. It's the same people behind Project 2025, the 900-page manifesto built like a doom-scrolling manual. Let's break this down Glen style. Project 2025 wants to privatize student loans, gut public service loan forgiveness, remove income-based repayment protections, and basically turn education into a Hunger Games survival sprint. Why? Because private lenders, the same crowd who drinks liquid gold for breakfast, want your student debt money. They want your payments. They want interest rates so high your grandchildren will inherit the bill. So what does MAGA do? They cheer, like trained cheerleaders for their own financial destruction. Yes, make billionaires richer. Please take away my protections. I love being squeezed dry like an orange at a juicing factory. This is the first political movement in history where the base chants, "Make me poorer, Daddy." And the billionaires reply, "Say less." Theology stays professional because it feeds the political machine. Everything else gets downgraded because an educated public is a dangerous public. You can't control people who think. You can't manipulate people who research. You can't con voters who ask questions. So you give them culture wars, megachurch sermons, turning point brain rot, and college is for liberals propaganda. And then you slash the exact degrees that protect society: health, education, social care. It is deliberate. It is strategic. And MAGA is applauding like they just watched a fireworks show. Anyway, before my blood pressure rises higher than private loan interest rates, let's carry on.
Well, well, well. It's FAFO Friday. And today this FAFO video is for all of those that voted for that fool that just so happened to be teachers and nurses and veterinarians too. Yes, how do you feel today? Because of Daddy Dumpy Pants ripping up the Department of Education and changing things in this nation, you're no longer a professional and you no longer hold a professional degree. You might as well be flipping burgers at McDonald's, baby. And this also goes out to those in those particular professions that didn't vote for him. Yes. When I came on here several times over the past few months and said that this shit ain't gonna end until we do a mass blackout, not just withholding your money, but not showing up for work. We need nurses to walk off the job. We need teachers to walk off the job. People came for me. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You came for me. You started making up all kind of excuses why you could not walk off the job. How do you feel today about walking off your job? Walking out of that hospital, walking out of that physical therapist office, walking out of that dentist office, walking out of that veterinarian office, walking out of that school. How do you feel today about that? My daughter is currently trying to apply for a federal loan to go to school for an advanced teaching degree to work with children who are disabled. The kind of children that Daddy Dumpy Pants believes should be put to death. He even said that about his own nephew. Thought it was a waste of time and money to provide health care to his own nephew. Should just do away with him. Get rid of him. And now today, my daughter no longer qualifies for a federal student loan and a degree where she wants to do nothing but help provide an education to the least among us, honey. That's it where we are here. And all this is being done by a woman who is tied to sexual abuse cases. I'm talking about Miss McMahon. Her husband is going down for abusing young boys that would come to train. Dear. The woman who thinks AI is A1 steak sauce. The woman who literally lied about her teaching degree. They said they gave her that position at the Department of Education because she has a degree in education. She lied. She holds no degrees in education whatsoever. It was a lie. But they have decided that chiropractors, a mostly male-dominated field, deserves the professional status. Chiropractors. Glorified masseuses. And you can be a chiropractor. You can come at me sideways if you want to. What you provide is not life-saving treatment, dear. You are a glorified, overpaid masseuse. But because it's male-dominated, it's considered professional now. And one of the wokest things I've ever heard, they've decided that theology also is a professional degree. Theology. Theology. It won't be long before they twerk that to only mean white nationalist Christian theology degrees. Because it's very woke to study theology. That means you study all theologies. Antifa, liberal theologies, all theologies. It won't be long, honey, before that's not a professional degree anymore either. Unless, of course, it's the studying of the theology behind white hate. they'll consider that to be professional. But how very woke. Yes, you might as well have a degree in basket weaving today if you're going to school for theology. And chiropractor, you might as well be a basket weaver. Honey.
Ouch. Yeah, I'm sorry to any chiropractor out there. I know you're all somewhere cracking spines and minds, minding your business, wondering why you just got caught in the political crossfire like an innocent bystander in a Marvel movie. And hey, if you're studying theology, don't take it too hard either. Nobody's attacking your calling, your passion, or your future career of explaining parables to people who still don't understand basic metaphors. We're just pointing out the absurdity of the system, not roasting your soul. But let's not lose the plot here, because while we're joking, while we're laughing at this absolute circus of downgraded degrees, political delusion, and policy decisions so bad they could qualify as psychological warfare, something very real is happening. Now, I love a lot of what Christina says. She's one of the few people out here connecting dots that aren't supposed to be connect the dots, but somehow make a whole picture. And honestly, by now it's crystal clear to any normal person that America is being strangled, choked, squeezed like a stress ball in the hands of a bored billionaire. They're not just coming for your health. They're not just coming for your education. They're not just coming for your student loans, which, by the way, are about to look like luxury mortgages. They're coming for your food, your water, your shelter, your mobility, your choices, your sanity, and your time. Look around. Housing is a nightmare. Food prices are basically ransom notes. Healthcare is a subscription service with no free trial. And while all this is happening, the billionaires are doing backflips into piles of cash, giggling, drawing up weird little documents like Project 2025, and brainstorming bizarre ideas for future society like they're designing a dystopian theme park. And that's the goal. Make things so hard, so exhausting, so stressful for the average American that when the ultra-rich swoop in with their solutions, the country will be too tired to fight back. Too worn down, too broken, too desperate. It's the oldest playbook in the world. Break them, then offer to fix them, but only under your rules. And Christina's absolutely right. At some point, America is going to have to ask itself a serious question. Are we pushing back, or are we just letting the billionaires role-play Hunger Games architects? She mentioned strikes. And look, desperate times call for desperate measures. You cannot reform a system that is actively profiting from your struggle. You cannot negotiate with people who see you as an inconvenience. And you cannot vote your way out of a trap that was designed decades before you were born. But hey, those are just my thoughts. Thinking out loud, as always. I'd love to hear your own thoughts too, just like we've heard from all these other creators. The comment section is always a mixed bag. Half brilliant thinkers, half chaos goblins, and the occasional person who types in all caps like they're yelling from the rooftop of a Walmart. And speaking of the comments, to those of you Sherlocks who keep saying, don't do commentary, just play the videos, please, please, if you're secretly MAGA and you don't like being educated by highly researched commentary that might accidentally expand your thinking, stop hiding. Just come out of the closet. It's okay. We already knew from the energy. Anyway, thank you for watching to the end and for sustaining my addiction to caffeine. I appreciate each and every one of you more than the Department of Education appreciates a degree they still consider professional. What do you think? Does America get out of this alive, or are we cooked? Because honestly, at this point, we're looking like a well-seasoned cast iron skillet at a Texas barbecue, sizzling, smoking, and one flip away from being served to the highest bidder. I'll catch you all in the next video. Take care.